Hey there, welcome back to the Smell Blog channel. I am Ramona, and today's Reddit story is going to be a little bit different. I wanted to go down this rabbit hole. We'll see where it takes us. What is the character you hate most in fiction, and why? And it says there's a note. I mean, you hate it because the character is a bastard or something. I don't know. But not because it's badly written. I want to write a character to be sure the readers will hate it. So let's see how many of these I can agree with or not agree with, or that I even know anything about, right? Christian Grey is a garbage person, but it would have been great if the story had called him out on the stalking and controlling behavior and the weird mother insults. I think if you copied everything he did, but didn't make it sexy or ignored, that would be a great bad guy. So that's from, what, 50 Shades of Grey? Never read it, never watched it, don't have any intention to. Let's see. There's just a general question here, our general answer. Depending on what type of character it should be, I have this sleazy emperor everyone instantly hated because, well, that was kind of the point. But then there's a different kind of character people grow to hate because she betrayed the others. I personally hate or dislike the traitors more, but it always depends. An incredibly annoying character could get hate, I think. In Rich Man, Poor Man, there's a guy called Falconetti. He's thoroughly detestable. It's worth a look. I usually don't hate people, but Scythe Goddard, June Hayward, and Professor Lovell are all up there. I don't know what those are from, sorry. Draken from The Shamer's Daughter. He makes me sick. Arrogant, manipulating, downright evil with no redeemable features. The best example I know, however, is Umbridge in Harry Potter. She is too real, and hers mirrors realities, which makes it worse. I think the key part is that, and her falseness, sickly sweet and abusive. Yeah, she's a terrible character, but she's also, I mean, she's a good character, but she's a terrible person character, you know what I'm saying? Zadie Mellows, I think it's Zadie, or is it Zade Meadows, is such a hypocrite, stalking and sexually harassing and fawing a girl, and then using the excuse that he saves women and children from human trafficking. An effing disappointing prick. Disgusting prick, sorry. I hate this man and his fan base so much. Honestly, I don't know if this even helps you unless you're planning on writing an Aurist. Again, I'm not familiar with that character either. Historical fiction film, which no doubt contributes to the hating part, is based on real events. But the way Amon Golth, I think that's right, is written in Schindler's List, just leaves a sickening feeling that sticks with you. Something about a person shown to be a complex human being, but at the same time completely devoid of morality. It's been years since I've seen that movie, so I really can't comment. She framed the protagonist in her game for a murder she committed so perfectly that the protagonist believed they were guilty. The protagonist took a shot in the dark to kill her without knowing her identity. Missed, and they killed some other guy and made it look like the protagonist had hit him instead. And then proceeded to issue one of, if not the most brutal execution of the entire series of the protagonist. The rest of the game uses a second main protagonist who takes over after the first one gets literally hung. I don't know which one they're talking about. Sounds complicated. I know he's a popular character, and I'm in a minority, but I hate Deadpool. Oops, all crazy doesn't endear me to him at all. See, I prefer early Deadpool in the comics. The Deadpool we see in the movies and that we have now is in my opinion, a completely different character. And that happens a lot. I mean, you have different writers and you have characters. Obviously, there's character growth and you want to flesh them out and whatever. But yeah, I don't ever see him as a hero. I don't really see him as he's a fun character, I guess you could say, as long as you don't take him too seriously. Shao Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, I think everyone can agree that's a horrible person. This petty, pathetic, vile man is so attached to this modestly comfortable living and major prestige that came from being a state alchemist that he murdered his wife by fusing her with an animal to make a sapient chimera that was in such pain and horror the only words it would say was, "I want to die," and it starved itself to death. And then he did it again with his young daughter and their pet dog. Yeah, no one will ever... I don't think... I don't think I've ever found anyone who could even tolerate the idea of Shao Tucker. He was written that way on purpose, and he was horrible. I still get chills when I hear certain lines from that. It's horrible. He's horrible. Okay, Black Jack Randall from Outlander is the most terrifying character I've ever seen. After a certain point, I felt fear when he showed up, even when I knew he wasn't going to do anything horrible in that scene. He's bone-chillingly cruel. I never could get into Outlander. I tried. I did. But it just isn't my thing. So, no comment there. Sorry. Umbridge is the obvious answer. Yeah, I think most people would say she's pretty awful. Bunny Corcoran from The Secret History. He was just a thoroughly detestable character, but I think the reason why I hate him so much is because I actually liked him in the first few pages, and I thought he was the happy-go-lucky comic relief character. I hate him. Books. Pharaoh from The Blade itself. I'm still reading the series, so no spoilers, please. I can't stand her in The Blade itself. ISTG. All she says is Pink's this and Pink's that. She's arrogant AF. From TV, Joffrey from Game of Thrones. I haven't read the books yet, but I'm sure I'll hate him there too. He's a POS, but he is such a well-written POS. Just so vile. This is sort of niche, but if anyone watches Last Tango in Halifax, I can't stand Cecilia. She is so judgmental, even after the incident. Jackal in the Red Rising series. He's deplorable. I don't know. Mojito from JJK. Annoying little shit. Yeah, but he's supposed to be. I mean, that's kind of the point. He's a cursed spirit. I mean, there's just yeah. None of those are supposed to be really likable. I mean, let's be fair. I think Aaron Yeager is a terrible protagonist, and he ruins AOT. I don't know what that one is. It sounds familiar. I think the Joker has become oversaturated, and I hate the edginess of him. Bunny from Secret History. Judge Holden from Blood Meriden. The game Starfield has some headwoman pirate who you have to deal with, and she's so contrived, stereotypical, and a generic woman badass leading pirates, and her lines and behavior were so on the nose, and so clearly what was those out of touch people believe beneath them act like when I prayed for her. I'm not going to read the rest of this. This is just rambling. I don't know the character anyway, but okay. Let's see. Scarpia. He's pure evil and also a hypocrite. It's always so satisfying to watch him get shanked. His music is also amazing. I don't know how that is either. Ellen from the Mistborn trilogy. So I'm missing out on a lot of these. I don't know about others, but Holden Caulfield was not popular in my high school. Malta, before she gets cool, and Kinnet. And that other guy whose name I can't recall. Holden Caulfield. I don't know who that is. I may have to go look that up. Denethor. Well written, very effective, but I have a visceral reaction to him. He's everything a man oughtn't be except evil. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way he was supposed to be. Laura Cohn from Homeland Security in the third or fourth novels of the Amsterdam Assassin series. Never read those ones. Luke Castilian. Is that the right pronounce? Percy Jackson and the Olympians. However understandable his motivations may be, he still betrays his friends and joined the bad guys, poisoned the tree that contained the spirit of the person who sacrificed her life for him, kidnapped his little sister figure. Yes, I say little sister because us demigods do not talk about the implications of Book 5, allowed the Titan Kronos to possess him, and tried to kill the protagonist numerous times. I said like those books, that's why I'm, not really qualified to talk about that, but okay. I don't have a lot of hate in my heart. A well-written bad character doesn't make me hate. They make me fearful or sad or despondent for the human condition. Evil is a cardboard idea. A well-done baddie is somewhat sympathetic, or at least understandable while doing bad things. Marcos Enaros from the books 5 and 6 of The Expanse. I tried to get into this fast, couldn't do it. Nope. Yule from Disventure Camp. I don't know who that is either. Let's see. The best villains are normally written with something in that a lot of people have personal experience with. Umbridge is that teacher that was an ass and wrong in the end. Shinji's dad is every father that neglected someone. Shao Tucker is everyone who stepped over a line for money or prestige. The baddie that killed your friend in front of you in name, any game, is every time something bad happened and you are powerless about it. Accelerator is every bully you know, and that just likes being in power and using it to torture people. It's always about connecting with your audience. Edit. Forget the dick from Redo of a healer or something like that. He is just a dick. Ramsay Bolton. Pure, distilled evil and different from Joffrey. Joffrey was never told no. Ramsay doesn't care. He's a raging sociopath. He views people as dogs to be beaten and dominated for his amusement. Not to mention Reek, but also the numerous R's and murders of women he liked as a boy. Ramsay's father R'd his mother, like father, like son. Kylo Ren from the Star Wars sequels. He tried so hard to be evil, throwing his temper tantrums like he was still 5 and always wailing that he could feel the pull of the light side. What pull? We never saw him do anything good, and he became irredeemable the second he killed his father, and probably was even earlier, when he killed Luke's other students. The movies continued to try and make him sympathetic, and all I could feel was disgust and anger that Rey's story, even if it overall sucked, ended up being about saving him and having a romance with a guy who tortured her, her friends, and killed her friend. You. Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter. Viscerally more evil than Voldemort. We all know someone like that, who gets away with everything and keeps slithering back to spread all of her viciousness and scarring everybody. Mrs. Norris. No, not the cat from Harry Potter. From Mansfield Park. Was even worse than Umbridge in viciousness, and a degree of power over the much more powerless MC of the book. She was also extremely good at creeping in, taking over, and spreading discord, and suffering for literal years before people wised up. Gwen Cooper from Torchwood was the most infuriating Mary Sue I've ever come across in a TV show. Everyone else suffered horribly but her. She got away with bending all the Torchwood rules. An affair, treating her boyfriend and later husband like shit, was also just too fine for her to fall in love with Harkness after the affair with her co-worker, and we were supposed to see her as a good person, a hero even. Ugh. Humbert, the charming Edirite Slimeball in Lolita. Mrs. Danvers, the housekeeper in Rebecca, surgically brutal in her emotional cruelty to a timid narrator. Oh yeah, Mrs. Danvers. O'Brien, the chilling, effective torture in 1984. I hate Askeladd from Vinland Saga because he went back on his word, then basically indoctrinated Thorfinn into liking him by kidnapping him and raising him. I don't want to see it that way, but okay. Marinette form MLB. She's such an annoying, hypocritical bitch, and the fact that she's MC makes the show unwatchable. That abomination of a human being from the Green Mile, the sadistic prisoner who really did kill those girls and who celebrates whenever other people are in pain. Just awful. Honorable mention to King Joffrey from Game of Thrones, as well as the sisters from the Shawshank Redemption. Dalen the Conqueror. He's a psychopathic, child-arring man, sodomizing, rule-breaking, mass-murdering, bad physics-lecturing, arrogant know-it-all piece of shit whose author thinks is redeemable. I don't even know who that's from. Let's see. No, we're not going to do that one because that one has spoilers. I loathed Joan Hayward. She just finished Yellowface. I just finished Yellowface today, and I've got to tell you, there are moments where I had to put my Kindle down just to cringe and groan. Great book, but damn, what a miserable, loathsome character. I'm not sure if hate is the right term, but the Emperor of Mankind from Warhammer 40k. Objectively, he's not the most evil character in the setting, but he is the biggest douchebag in the entire universe. He's a hypocrite, a tyrant, and an egotist. He's responsible for creating the Empire of Mankind, both all of its glory and all of its horror. He created humanity's greatest foe, greatest heroes, and betrayed them, destroyed them, or set them up for self-destruct. Not None of that makes it a bad character. I consider him the ultimate refute. I can't even say the word of Nietzsche's Übermensch. I'm pronouncing that wrong. What would a man really become when he alone decided what was right and what was wrong? The answer is a terrible God who enslaves humanity to be a flawed version of the rest of their existence. President whatever his name is. I thought it was supposed to be Cornelia. Okay, Snow from the Hunger Games. Because he had so many chances to become a good person. He, of course, said screw it and threw away a girl that loved him genuinely for power. Lucy Gray was done dirty by this man whom she loved. Let's see. I'm not familiar with a lot of these characters. I hate to be that way. I need to obviously read or watch stuff more. Literally everyone in The Great Gatsby. Yeah. Percy Wetmore from The Green Mile, and Shiv Roy in succession. Sloane from The Inheritance Cycle. Ooh, here's one. Belle from the original Disney animated Beauty and the Beast. Adult neat in a setting where people survive on responsibility and contribution, refuses to contribute while banging on about how she wants more. No one likes her because she's so useless and does nothing but read fairy tales all day. Miraculously, though, the most handsome, wealthy, popular, successful man in town shows up at her door and asks her to marry him. She says he's not good enough for her and kicks him out. Her reward for her lifelong insistence that she deserves everything for nothing, marries into royalty, gets to live in a castle far above the people whose hard work kept her dumbass alive for 18 years, while those people get to keep toiling in the dirt. She gets a magical fairy tale ending and all of her dreams come true. Man, F. Belle. You know, I never thought of it that way, but I completely agree with you. I never really liked the character anyway. My little sister, that was Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast were like her favorite Disney movies. Me, it's Mulan. Just Mulan. Emma Bovary is the character I hate most in literature. Oh, God, I hated reading that as a freaking teenager. God, I hated that book. Katsui Bakugo is the character I hate more than... Oh, I have to disagree with you. No. Bakugo is an awesome character. He's horrible. He's unlikable, but he's still a good character. You're allowed to have your opinion, but I'm allowed to disagree with it. No. Bakugo. The rest of the story wouldn't be there. Deku and these other characters wouldn't have the growth that they had if it weren't for Bakugo. Randall Flagg. I know that reference. That is from The Stand, Stephen King, which I refuse to acknowledge because I really can't stand Stephen King or any of his novels. I'm sorry. I know probably a lot of people do, but I just can't. Just can't. Peter Pan from Once Upon a Time is pretty awful. Oh, yes. The TV show? Oh my God, yes. That was terrible. Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with you there. Again, there's a lot of these I have not freaking read. Now I feel bad about trying to comment on them when I don't know about them. I really hated Harold from The Stand. Again, it's been years since I've seen or tried to read that. So, Levin from Anna Karenina. I can never pronounce it right. Karenina. Hated the book. Couldn't stand the movie. No. Let's see. I've not read it since high school, but I hated. Oh my God, I hate Catherine and Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights. Oh, amen. Oh God, I had to read that book twice in high school, and I fucking hate those characters. Supposedly love each other, but treat each other cruelly, especially Heathcliff. Heathcliff is awful to everyone, really, actually. I can't think of one likable character in the whole novel. Oh my God, this is my person. Because I was actually a joke around my house that it's the Wuthering Heights of something when something really sucks. Again, I had to read that book twice in high school because I changed high schools and I just happened to have to read it twice. I hated that book. The characters are so unlikable, so unrelatable, and just hater, but I'm glad there are other people out there who don't think it's awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Dorian Gray. I can't say I hated Dorian Gray. I mean, but okay, I can get behind, if you can give a reason, but yeah, if you don't like him, I can understand that one. Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. I love the book, love what he represents. That's why I can't stand him. Okay, that's a very honest answer. I like that. That's cool. We're gonna try to wrap this one up because it's getting kind of long, and there's still a lot of umbrage, and there's a lot of, again, characters I'm not real familiar with. Sorry. A lot of characters from the Green Mile. People really didn't like Percy from the Green Mile. Clay Puppington. I don't even know who that is. Yeah. Cerberus from the Horus Heresy series. Any bully. Oh, okay. Let's see if I can find one more that I'm actually... Okay, Bella Swan was an unlikable protagonist. Yeah, I never read the books. I was forced to watch the movies because of my nieces. Yeah, not cool. Not cool. Iago was the first character that I truly loved hating. When I was young, he was the one who made me realize that a hero was only as good as his foil in many respects. Daisy Buchanan. Even Lady Macbeth didn't cheat on her husband. Damn. Iris, the wife of Flash in the CW version. Sticking her nose in everything is irritating. There's another umbrage. Lysander from the late Red Rising books. When he grows up. Still more umbrages. I'm trying to find one that I actually, can get behind here, but no, tons of umbrages. Characters from video games that I'm afraid I haven't played. Sorry. So I guess that's it. Looks like umbrage takes the cake with most of these. That's who most people have decided they don't like. I can't say I really hated the character. I mean, you're supposed to hate her, but yeah, I can't think of any character in Harry Potter that I really couldn't stand. Lavender. Lavender was annoying. I'm sorry. I don't know why I didn't like that character, but that was just me. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed listening to me ramble about this. A little bit longer video than I intended, but that's okay. Thanks for listening and watching. We'll talk to you later.